Dubai was never supposed to feel fragile. A city engineered to eliminate uncertainty is now confronting the one force it cannot easily control, the sudden collapse of confidence. In March 2026, signals of instability began appearing across the infrastructure that once symbolized permanence. Flights canceled, bookings withdrawn, departure searches surging. Nothing physically disappeared overnight, but something far more important began to erode. The belief that Dubai was immune to disruption. And when belief starts to break, even the tallest skyline can feel surprisingly temporary. The first visible cracks appeared where Dubai connects to the world, its airports. For years, Dubai International Airport functioned as a near-perfect machine of global mobility. Every arrival reinforced the same message: this city is open, stable, and accelerating. But on March 1st, 2026, disruption hit Terminal 3, triggering operational shockwaves that cascaded across flight networks within 24 hours. Approximately 150 flights were canceled in a single day. Thousands of passengers scrambled to rebook routes out of the region. Departure demands surged as uncertainty spread faster than official clarification. In systems built on trust and timing precision, disruption is rarely contained to one location. It spreads through expectation. Dubai's economic structure is unusually sensitive to this dynamic. The city's growth model relies heavily on uninterrupted flows of people: tourists, executives, investors, professionals. When mobility slows, the effects extend far beyond transportation. Aviation is not just infrastructure here, it is the circulatory system of the economy. Airports in Dubai do more than move passengers. They sustain hotels, retail, finance, real estate, and professional services. A delay in confidence becomes a delay in spending. A delay in spending becomes pressure across multiple sectors simultaneously. Signs of behavioral shift began appearing quickly. Reports described luxury vehicles left unused as individuals prioritized immediate departure over material ownership. Assets designed to signal status suddenly lost relevance when time became more valuable than possessions. When uncertainty rises, liquidity replaces lifestyle. The symbolism was difficult to ignore. Dubai has long projected an image of uninterrupted expansion, a place where ambition meets engineering. Yet modern cities do not depend only on physical infrastructure. They depend on psychological stability. And psychological stability can deteriorate faster than buildings can be constructed. Pressure soon extended beyond aviation. Dubai's global identity has been shaped by architectural spectacle. Artificial islands visible from space. Hotels designed as statements of technological confidence. Record-breaking towers intended to signal permanence. But symbols perform a fragile function. They must continuously reinforce the narrative they represent. Reports of aerial security concerns introduce new layers of perceived vulnerability. Even limited physical impact can generate disproportionate psychological consequences when expectations of safety are exceptionally high. Luxury destinations sell reassurance as much as experience. When reassurance weakens, the value proposition changes immediately. Cancellations increased across hospitality venues. Booking hesitation emerged in segments dependent on international visitors. Large-scale projects faced renewed investor scrutiny. None of these signals alone indicate structural collapse, but taken together they form a pattern of hesitation. And hesitation can slow even the most aggressive growth models. Dubai expanded its hotel capacity to more than 154,000 rooms by the end of 2025, supported by expectations of strong and stable occupancy rates. Infrastructure of this scale is built on assumptions about demand continuity, but hotels do not become costless when empty. Cooling systems continue operating in extreme climate conditions. Staffing structures remain in place. Supply chains require maintenance regardless of occupancy. High-growth models often perform exceptionally well during expansion cycles, but they also amplify exposure to volatility when sentiment shifts. Real estate markets illustrate this sensitivity clearly. Property prices increased significantly in recent years, supported by global capital inflows and investor optimism. But property valuations reflect expectations about future demand as much as present conditions. When expectations adjust, pricing pressure often follows. Dubai is not facing a shortage of assets. It faces the challenge of maintaining momentum in a system designed for continuous expansion. When demand slows, fixed costs remain. When perception weakens, investment pacing changes. Structural dependence on external inflows introduces another layer of complexity. Approximately 90% of Dubai's population consists of expatriates. This composition has powered rapid development, attracting talent from across the world. But mobility cuts both ways. The same flexibility that accelerates growth can accelerate exit decisions when perceived risks increase. Reports in early 2026 indicated rising visa cancellations and relocation planning activity. International schools observed enrollment declines. Healthcare providers reported staffing pressures. These signals suggest adaptive behavior among globally mobile professionals responding to uncertainty. Mobility is an advantage during expansion phases. It can become a vulnerability during perception shifts. Labor dynamics further complicate adjustment processes. While highly skilled professionals often retain mobility options, lower-income workers frequently face structural constraints linked to employment systems and financial limitations. Economic shocks therefore affect different population groups unevenly. When both talent flows and capital flows become less predictable, long-term planning becomes more complex. Infrastructure timelines rely on assumptions about continuity. Investment strategies depend on confidence in stability. Regional competition adds additional pressure. Saudi Arabia has announced major tourism expansion targets aiming to attract 150 million visitors annually by 2030. Projects such as NEOM and large-scale development initiatives signal ambition to diversify regional economic centers. Singapore continues to position itself as a stability-focused hub, emphasizing governance reliability and financial predictability. Investors evaluating geographic risk distribution often compare relative resilience across locations. Capital rarely disappears. It reallocates. Changing consumer preferences may also play a role. Some travel segments increasingly emphasize cultural depth, environmental sustainability, and perceived authenticity. Highly engineered environments may face evolving expectations as travelers reassess value propositions. Dubai's brand historically emphasized scale, innovation, and luxury positioning. Adapting narrative identity may become part of long-term strategic recalibration. Transitions of this magnitude rarely occur instantly. Cities adjust policy frameworks, refine infrastructure strategies, and reposition economic narratives over time. Discussions around expanded utilization of Al Maktoum International Airport and potential policy recalibration suggest recognition of evolving conditions. Whether these adjustments significantly alter long-term trajectory remains uncertain. The broader significance extends beyond a single location. Dubai represents a development model built on connectivity, speed, and global integration. This model has delivered remarkable growth outcomes. It also exposes systems to external volatility when geopolitical conditions, investor sentiment, or mobility patterns shift. Periods of disruption reveal structural dependencies that remain less visible during expansion cycles. Dubai may continue evolving into a more diversified economic structure. It may experience periods of recalibration as global conditions adjust. Neither outcome would be unprecedented in economic history, but the events unfolding in 2026 highlight an important principle. Confidence functions as invisible infrastructure. When confidence accelerates, growth accelerates. When confidence hesitates, expansion pauses. When confidence fractures, systems designed for speed must adapt to uncertainty. Dubai's skyline remains visible. Its infrastructure remains operational, but the model supporting its rapid rise may be entering a phase of reevaluation. The question is no longer whether Dubai can build taller structures. The question is whether growth models designed for uninterrupted acceleration can adjust to periods of friction. Because in global economics, the greatest vulnerabilities are rarely visible during boom periods. They appear when momentum slows. Dubai may continue evolving, redefining its balance between spectacle and resilience, or it may serve as an early signal of a broader transition affecting multiple high-growth regions. Either way, the lesson reaches beyond architecture or tourism. Modern prosperity often depends on confidence as much as capital, and confidence, once shaken, does not simply return in its original form. It returns changed, or it moves elsewhere.